first guest today is Milli, Executive Director of Live Baltimore. Now, Live Baltimore celebrates 20 years of service this year. Annie, thanks for being on the show, and 20 years, that's huge.
It absolutely is, and thank you so much for having me today. I'm really pleased to be here.
Yeah. Now, since you've been with Live Baltimore, what changes have you noticed?
There's been a lot of changes since I've been with Live Baltimore. I think one of the biggest changes is our shift in focus to not just attracting new residents to the city, but also retaining residents that are already in the city, and specifically residents with children. So that's been a real big change in terms of our programming. In terms of the housing market, we've seen a number of years of really steady, sustainable growth in the housing market, which is a real positive for our organization.
Yeah. Now, you went from marketing director to executive director.
I did. I did. Not a job I ever thought I was going to find myself in, but I'm 4 months in, and it is just every day is just an absolute pleasure, and it's a true privilege to serve the city in this way.
And I understand that there was a national search, and they found out that the right person was working within the organization already.
Well, I understand that as well. I was not involved in the search process other than my own application, but it's a real honor and a privilege. I know that there were a lot of really qualified applicants, and to have been chosen is just, it really means a lot to me.
Yeah, so you've started on this journey of helping people to focus on Baltimore, focus on the good things of Baltimore. Why decide to throw yourself into that arena to help people like that?
I have always been passionate about the city. I was a county resident when I was a child and grew up just out over the city line in the Owings Mills area. And I was raised on these really positive stories of Baltimore being the place that you came to shop. My grandmother told stories about it being the place that you came to see vaudeville and the place where you really came to make it in the world. And so as soon as I got my driver's license, I was driving up 83, I was looking for that Pepsi sign, I was coming into the city, and just really spent a lot of my most formative years as a person who was enjoying what the city had to offer. So as soon as I graduated from college, I moved to the city immediately when I had the option to do so, and since then I've just been passionately advocating for the city in my own personal life, so it was sort of an easy jump. It's like a dream job for me, honestly.
Yeah, and you know, many people have the dream of wanting to own their own homes. You know, they work in Baltimore, they want to live closer to where they work, and Live Baltimore offers many resources that people can find out about.
We do, and so there are over 40 incentives for homeowners in Baltimore City. It's huge, and it's not something that you can find in other jurisdictions. Baltimore City is the most affordable area in our metro region, and that's really meaningful for people who are trying to buy that first home. When you look at Baltimore City as opposed to some of the other areas, the average sale price for a home in Baltimore City is around $150,000. When you compare that to DC, the average sale price is over $500,000. So that's a really hard price point to enter the market at when you're a young person, when you're just graduating or starting with your first job. So this is a really affordable place to be, and when you match that with some of the incentives available through the city that we can educate buyers on, it's really hard to say no to our great neighborhoods.
Yeah, so talk about that a little bit. Home prices, what you've seen just in the past year, you know, how it's become more affordable.
Yeah, so the housing market is doing really well right now. It's doing well across the country and in the metro region, and people are really talking about the low inventory. There's a lot of demand for the city market. We're seeing sales in neighborhoods all across the city, and we're seeing the volume of sales increase. But at the same time, our prices aren't increasing at the rate that they are in some cities where people are really being priced out. So we're seeing more of a slow, steady growth in our prices that really allows those first-time buyers to still enter the market. And we're seeing more incentives coming on all the time. The state is offering incentives, the city continues to offer its incentives, and so it's just a great place where people can find that affordable home that they love.
Yeah, awesome. So one thing I noticed, you know, just logging on to the website, livebaltimore.com, you all, you know, highlight certain neighborhoods. Like the one highlighted this month is Greenmount West. So that's another way that you feel can draw in people.
Absolutely. So there are actually 278 neighborhoods in Baltimore City. People can't believe that. We always try and do a little quiz with people, how many neighborhoods are there, but there's 278. And we actually have a profile for every single one of those neighborhoods on our website. It really gives people a chance to get to know the more residential areas of town where maybe they aren't going out and shopping and dining because it's all residential. And so how do they get to explore those places? So we have profiles of those places, and then we can also connect them to people who are actually living in those neighborhoods who can say, hey, here's where I grocery shop, and yeah, it's a great place for dog owners, or whatever people's questions might be.
All right, well, you know, hold that thought, because we're going to talk more about housing prices and what else can attract people to live in Baltimore. Stay with us, more to come with Executive Director Annie Milli. Welcome back to Charm TV with my guest, Executive Director of Live Baltimore, Annie Milli. So before we went to break, we were talking about the housing industry, how you know, homes are selling faster, you know, inviting more people into Baltimore. So I want to talk about how we can draw more people to the Live Baltimore website to find out about these various different neighborhoods and what you all do.
Yeah, well, livebaltimore.com is our website. We reach about 200,000 unique visitors each year, so there's a lot of people accessing our website. And part of the reason that we reach so many visitors is because we're really a one-stop shop for everything that you could possibly need to know about a neighborhood. We focus on the data points about the neighborhood, what's the housing market like, but also what are the amenities in the neighborhood, and what do residents have to say about their neighborhood? How would they describe it?
And not all communities have something like this.
No, not all communities have something like this. Live Baltimore is actually incredibly unique. There are only a handful of cities that have any type of residential placement organization. So when you think about an organization like Visit Baltimore, most cities have a tourism bureau. They have a convention center and they have a tourism bureau. But very few cities have anything that'll help residents relocate. I've been to a conference with some other cities who have something maybe a little bit similar, and really there's only 6 of those in the country. People will reach out to us all the time and say, how can I find out about a Live Baltimore and something like that in California? It doesn't exist. We're really unique.
Wow. So that makes Live Baltimore a game changer.
It does, you know, I think it does a little bit, which is great. Yeah, very, very proud to say that.
So when we talk about drawing more people to the website, encouraging people to live in Baltimore, there's an event, an interesting event that you all have called the Trolley Tour. Talk about that a little bit.
So our Trolley Tour is probably our best known event. And what that is, it's an event that happens multiple times each year. And it really allows people to understand what it means to buy a home in general through workshops where they can learn about home buying. They can meet with real estate professionals who are working in Baltimore City, who understand the nuances of the real estate market in Baltimore City, because there are nuances. And then we actually take them on a guided, expertly narrated trolley tour of neighborhoods. Usually on those tours, people get to see about 15 different communities that they might not otherwise have visited. And then afterwards, they're eligible to apply for a $5,000 incentive brought to them by Baltimore City Housing. And so that can be used for down payment and closing costs. So it's really a whole package deal of how to become a homeowner in Baltimore City.
Very nice. So I see you have a very colorful sticker in front of you called it says, I love city life. Talk to us about that.
Absolutely. Well, this is maybe what Live Baltimore is most famously known for. This is our I Heart City Life bumper sticker, and you'll find these on cars, on mailboxes, on garbage cans, on anything you can put a sticker on all across the city. There's a great story about this bumper sticker. There was a city resident back in the 90s. She wanted to promote the fact that she loves living in the city and that she was proud to live in the city. And so she created the I Heart City Life bumper sticker. She printed them herself. Wow. She gave them out to all of her friends. And it really caught on, and then she gifted it to Live Baltimore as an organization. So I brought this for you today.
Oh,
so
thank you.
You can go ahead and put that on your...
Hold that up so our viewers at home can see.
Yes.
Yeah, this is amazing. I love City Life, and it's bright in color, yellow with the red heart, so people will definitely be able to spot this.
Yes, so you'll find those bumper stickers all across the city. We also have an I Heart City Life license plate. So if you would like to show your pride for City Life, you can actually get an official license plate through the MVA with that logo on it. And we have all kinds of other merchandise that help people to show off that they're a proud city resident.
Definitely, and that's big, you know, living and working in Baltimore, being a proud Baltimore City resident. I mean, we see it as we're driving, you know, you see the bus benches, you know, Baltimore City, the greatest, you know, city to live in. What else can you offer people that are looking at Baltimore City? They live in surrounding states, or even as far away as California. They want to move to Baltimore, but they're just not quite sure.
Right. So we can offer a variety of information to them through our website. They can get to know a neighborhood, as we discussed. There's neighborhood profiles where they can really look at the data. What does this neighborhood look like in terms of safety? We don't shy away from that information. If they want to look at how can they research what the level of safety is in a neighborhood, they can find those links directly from our website. If they want to understand what is most affordable, they can find that through our website. Another big thing that is on our site that appeals to a lot of people, especially those coming from other urban areas, is how walkable is the neighborhood. There's a national rating agency called Walk Score, and we actually publish the Walk Score for every single neighborhood in Baltimore City on our site. There's just, you know, in addition to that, we run ad campaigns where we feature residents who are living in the city, so you can maybe connect to someone who seems sort of like you, has a lifestyle like yours, and we have videos and all kinds of great information on our blog, on our Facebook page, on our Twitter account that help people to get a taste of what life is really like here.
Well, thanks so much, Annie, for being a guest today on Game Changers. And you folks at home, stay right there. We'll be right back with more.